Baghdad is a mess. The electricity's still out. The director of Iraq's power company was robbed of the country's wiring. Then he got robbed of the emergency wiring. Then the truck he drove the wiring in got stolen. Looting, carjacking, shooting at each other. Hey, these guys act like they've been democracy their whole life over there. I'll tell you what we have to do. We have to start shooting them, or the law-abiding Iraqis will turn on us. Because they're not Americans. They don't worship criminals. They're from a country where you can count the criminals on one hand. Because that's all they have. One hand. Because some people need structure. That's how it is. They can't handle freedom. Bobby Brown, after he left New Edition, he went crazy, right? Justin Timberlake, when he was under the iron thumb of that fat Lou Pearlman, he minded his big P's and Q's. Now he's like hanging out with rappers. People are playing practical jokes on him. He's turned into a damn joke. You know? Now the Shiites today, 10,000 strong, marched through Baghdad saying we want the U.S. out of our country, we want our own country back. That's great, fellas. How about just a couple of signs that say we want to rule ourselves, but thank you for liberating us from the guy that tortured and killed us for being Shiites for the past 12 years? Is that the Would it kill somebody to thank U.S. once in a while? Is that so unhip around the world? Now, get a load of this. Get a load of this. No. Former New York Police Commissioner Bernard Kerik has gone to Baghdad to assist with the crackdown on looters. Now, if we'd come down on looters earlier, of course, if we shot any looters, the whole world would have said, oh, look at those Nazis over there shooting. So we're damned if we do, and we're damned if we don't. Sarah, do you agree with this?
I mean, I do, but we can't even stop looters here. You know, we have stuff to loot. Can you imagine if, like, they had the NBA championships there? It'd be crazy.
It is, who knew they had that much stuff worth stealing? They're like running around like, ooh, I got an old sandal running down the street.
I felt bad for the guy. I saw some guys carrying a door. They're going, hey, we got a door. Now all we're going to do is build a house around it. I don't think that they got the police chief. They get rid of him because he's going to bring all his buddies from New York there. They're going to be harassing the Iraqi citizens, pulling them out the car, grabbing stuff. What's this we got here? Is this a weapon of mass destruction he got here? You got to get rid of him, man.
You know what? We tried to have a plan in place to deal with it, but there were a lot of things that came up that we didn't predict. You know, we took Baghdad too quickly, so they didn't get their infrastructure in place, and then things like carjacking. I mean, you know, they didn't expect carjacking because we didn't know there were black guys in Iraq.
How long do we got to go before we rifle off a doggone black thing? What the hell is that? His toy poodle haircut is really pissing me off.
Why you gotta go that way, homie? Let me tell you something. I heard what you did to Dennis Leary, and the poor guy, he didn't graduate Harvard like you know? Anyway, it's a different show. Is anybody booked at that Alibaba's Nights or whatever in Iraq? I got that gig. I don't know. They better not have hecklers. Looters is one thing.
You know what? I think that it is a tough situation over there because, like you said, we're damned they say shoot the looters now. If we shoot the looters, but if you shoot the looters, then you're going to create more hostility. If you don't, I think maybe we should just shoot all the Iraqis and start over.
Shoot the people who shoot the looters.
Yeah.
What about, like, the fact, I think we're doing a bully move, man. That's what I think it is. That we're taking that country over and we shouldn't take that damn country over. We're doing an old school bully move where we're like, hey, man, let me borrow your country for a few minutes. I give it right back to you.
Like in the schoolyard with basketball?
The Americans are so aggressive, too. It's like the English. They knew how to do it. They would do it with such sophistication, they didn't realize what they were doing. Jeffrey, would you care for some sherry before we go raping and pillaging?
I know, America's like the boyfriend that like beats up the girlfriend and then goes right away and it's like, I'm sorry, baby, you're so pretty. You know?
Well, you're saying all this, but let's face the facts. The fact is he was torturing and killing all these Shiites and all these different types of people over there, Sunnis and Shiites. So, I mean, they're crying with a loaf of bread under their arm. They're complaining. But meanwhile, before this, they're getting tortured, raped, kids getting raped in front of their parents. This is what really happens there. 5,000 people starving to death every month. Starving to death. So, I mean, the realistic thing is bully. I don't know how that's a bully. Maybe we have mixed motives to be over there, but let's face it, it's the best thing that ever happened to them.
5,000 people starving to death and hundreds of thousands of people, like, snackish. They go for just like a little visceral. That was funny.
Now, wait a minute. That was damn good.
That was funny, and I'm not a laugher.
Now listen, what about this? In Lebanon, this is true, a hot new video game for the kids, brought to you by Hezbollah. It simulates attacking the Israeli military and gives you 10 points for shooting Ariel Sharon in the head. And it's, I don't know what it's called, Grand Theft Infidel. I'm not sure. All right. I'm working, folks. Come on. It's not just the PlayStations either. This is what kills me. Even the new TV show, they got one where they chase the Mossad Jews clues. I don't know. It's gonna be, I am working here. But look, what do you think? How are we supposed to get them when these kids so early? They're already, you know.
That video game, it's like all video games. The Israelis are symbolic. You know, they don't say just kill Israelis. They could be Jews from any country.
That's a good point.
They make it clear. But don't you think it's so psychotic that if you're trained that way, what are you going to do? I mean, it seems like we're going to have to really start clamping down on everybody.
I think it's wrong to shoot Jews.
Don't wait.
I do. I think it's crazy.
That's why he's edgy.
That guy's
crazy.
At least they're learning computers, these kids.
That's reassuring.
What are they? Don't they live in caves?
No, that's the Afghans.
That's Afghanistan.
Oh, right. I keep up, but only once every 6 weeks.
Let me just ask you this question. Don't you think that even the fact that we question our country this much and wonder what we're doing in Iraq, it's a joke. Because everybody can always find out what's wrong with America, but the rest of the world is psychotic. We may have a few issues. The rest of the world is stark raving mad. Good point. Well, it just seems to me like, everything about our country is speculative, possible motives, right? Very few actual facts of what we're up to that's evil. Everybody else, you have their facts right in front of you.
Well, yeah, I agree with you in a sense, but when you're talking about, they went over there and they protected the oil. They made sure they protected the damn oil.
Right.
They left everything else to go to hell. So,
But even that could be justified by the people. Now, let me ask you both something. Being Baghdad, and you guys are both from Philly, which do you think has more desolation and awful burnt-out buildings? Baghdad or Philly? Well, I've been to Philly many times, and it's very depressing.
Well, what part of Baghdad? What part of Philly?
What part of Baghdad? All right, look. Folks, I don't want to go back on medication. Please, don't leave me alone with these people. We'll be right back. Oh boy, this is where we choose some of the stories from the news that I find interesting, and I toss them out and see what happens, okay? First of all, China is executing SARS victims that violate the quarantine. Greg, why is that funny to you? And I'll tell you something.
I don't know, Colin.
That is a funny picture. And they have so many people, they look for excuses to kill them. Firstborn child, Falun Gong, SARS. It's like anybody that's wasting it. That's why they work so hard over there, because if you look like you have to have busy work, or they'll just kill you just for hanging out. What do we think, Sarah?
Well, they're crazy over there, they throw baby girls in a dumpster, and they don't even have SARS. All they have is vaginas. They're guilty of having vaginas.
Maybe they should wash them first.
That's what I'm saying. Oh.
He's just throwing an idea out.
I meant the vaginas.
Yes.
Not the baby girls.
What a relief. Okay, look at this. Now you got an albino advocacy group, I said that, is complaining about the albino villains in the Matrix. Now, albino villains is like the last, group, and there aren't enough of them to really protest. Even if they march on Washington, they'd burn like ants under a microscope, But what do you think about this, Dom?
Well, I just think it's good to see the Nelsons got a gig again, I saw that movie, by the way. Have you seen it?
No.
So bad. Ask me a question.
How was it?
You know how it was, Colin. The prophecy is now. That's all it was. Like, I don't know what that meant, but that's the whole movie.
But the thing is, who gives a damn about them? Who gives a damn?
Albinos? I hate them too. I'm glad you said that.
There's no...
What?
But I'm saying there's no movie exec shaking in their boots. Oh, hell, we done pissed off the albinos now. What the hell we going to do?
Too much political correctness.
It's also wrong. I mean, I think it is insulting. It's easy to say because you're not an albino. If you're an albino, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong for them to always be depicted in movies as these evil freaks, because we know that in reality, most albinos use their magic powers for good.
Bush's media handlers asked the crowd members behind the president during his tax cut speech take off their ties so they'd be loosened up. You know, like that was going to make people think, hey, we're down to earth. Like, why don't you just get the unemployed cast of Les Miserables stamp behind your name? Greg?
Well, it was a smart move because the Republicans, they don't want to be seen as a party that only cares about rich white guys in suits and ties. They also care about rich white guys in suits and a nice open-neck shirt.
Well, you know what? They should make them wear what every poor person wears, a $450 throwback jersey.
You know what I throw out of this?
It's show business, though. I mean, look at Colin. He's got his own TV show. He probably has $1 million, and he dresses like a slob to appeal to the common man. When anybody who knows him. Then he gets chauffeured around by a Bentley doing caviar, doing shots of blow off of a $5,000 hooker's ass crack. Not every day, but as a treat sometimes.
And I don't do it. I don't do it for me. I do it for the people.
You know, the reality is that's all politics is. It's all posturing, and I mean, with all due respect to the president, his whole image of being this Texas rancher guy. You know, I mean, he grew up. He was a diplomat's kid.
He's a closet wasp.
He was a wasp, but he was a cheerleader in prep school. I mean, he's really less of a cowboy.
Cheerleader?
Yeah, he was a cheerleader in prep school. He's less of a cowboy than the guy in the Village People.
He was a cheerleader?
He's more like the cowboy in the Village.
More like that.
Yeah.
What kind of a half of to be a cheerleader?
Gym teachers are applying for grants to buy expensive exercise equipment with video games attached to it to try to motivate the kids. What about this little thing, huh, Keith?
Well, I think, that's not going to motivate them. They're just going to play the game on the damn machine before even trying to work it. I think they should do what that other teacher did. Take him to a strip bar.
It's true. He was a damn good teacher.
He has some D cups.
It is. There's a lot of. I might take my girlfriend to Disneyland because she's 14. She loves the rides, you know. She didn't want to walk anywhere. She's so lazy. Come on, I'm kidding. I never took her to Disneyland. It's not allowed out that late. What did I say?
Disneyland, man. It was good.
What about the big Barbara Walters Hillary Clinton interview coming up? That should be a.
Nobody gives it that.
Today. I can't wait.
That's going to be a big. Well, maybe she'll run for president. Should be a sincerity fest, don't you think?
Yeah.
Hillary's as sincere as a lap dance, and Barbara's like, I don't know, as deep as an airport self-help book.
It takes a village.
Nobody gives a damn. You're right. You're not kidding.
You should have listened to me.
You know what? When you say nobody gives a damn, you really mean it, don't you? Well, I think it's quite interesting.
Best story. What's your bent on it?
What's that?
What's your bent on it?
My take is like this. She's going to go for the Democratic. Bush got to throw Cheney aside and get a woman VP. Maybe the lady that ran over her husband that time and killed her. I don't know. Somebody that people know that they identify with.
How about an Iraqi lesbian woman?
Well, what about...
Would that
Cheney
nail it?
has a lesbian daughter.
Yeah,
Really?
she's not Iraqi, I don't think. What about Dr. Germ? I think Dr. Germ looks kind of like she might be a lesbian. You know Dr. Germ?
Do I?
But you have to.
And how?
And how? When we come right back, Sarah will help me turn over my new leaf. I got a strategy for this stupid business. You know what, folks? I've been trying to figure out, and this is true, about what to do about my career. I've been around for a long time. And, but I never really, everybody knows who I am, but I'm not like a star, you know? I walk down the block, people are like, hey, help me with my, carburetor. They don't treat me like a star. So I figure somebody once told me, get a publicist and start getting into the hype. Why should I pay somebody for a publicist when I can do it myself? Go out with somebody hot like Ben and Jen, Justin and Brittany, right? I'm gonna start going to the hot clubs, get political, start getting controversial, political, right? Just getting a feud with somebody. I'm going to deal with all this later. First, I want us to have an interview with somebody who really is hot in the industry. A new play here in New York called Jesus is Magic. It's great. Sarah Silverman, everybody.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. What's up?
Just doing my thing.
Yeah, I know. I heard what you were saying. I think that's a good idea. I mean, it's worth a try or...
Yeah. So how's it going? You still You still going out with Jimmy?
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like I'm going out with him for publicity. That's scummy, you go out with somebody because of love,
Totally. It's pathetic otherwise. Although if you like each other anyway, what's the big deal? I mean,
I know, but that whole fake controversy, that's lame.
Yeah, I hate that fake controversy. I'm ashamed to be from the same state as Bush.
You're from Brooklyn. What are you talking about?
They stole that election. They stole it.
I know, but what's that have to do with anything? Why are you saying all this stuff?
I'm just like to talk politics once in a while. Not everything's showbiz, right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Does Jimmy treat you well? Because I always say, he seems a little cold. I don't know if it's because he's German. He's like cold a little bit, right? He's like a cold fish.
No, he's not cold at all, and he's only a little tiny bit German. He's mostly Italian.
Good. Italian. Imagine if we went out again.
Yeah, that won't ever happen.
Yeah. I know. No, but I mean if we really did.
No, I have a boyfriend. I'm not gonna... And, and plus, you... What are you doing? What is your problem? Jesus.
What are you, a lesbian or something?
Your girlfriend is pregnant, Colin.
Yeah, so what? What's her problem?
I cannot believe you're trying to jump on my train.
No, baby, get used to it. This is show business, not show business.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but when somebody said it to me, I say, whatever they accented, it made sense. Like show... not the way I said
it. Colin, don't try to go out with somebody just because they're doing good. That's insulting.
It's insulting if you're doing bad and somebody doesn't try to go out with you. You're doing good, you should be flattered.
You don't get it. That is so lame. I don't want to live my life doing things for publicity. I don't do that. I don't think you should do that.
I don't either. Look where it got me. You better start learning about the birds and bees, honey, if you want to make some cabbage.
Ew, Colin. I'm not in the mood.
What are you, frigid?
Listen, what do you care about all this fake publicity, Colin? It's so stupid. All this hype. You're overshadowing the real comedy work, I mean, if you're funny, and that's all that should matter. You shouldn't be playing into the hands of idiots that make up fake glamour and stupid, gossip and stuff.
Oh, come on. Oh, folks, let me tell you something. First of all, Sarah, it was great acting. I thought we looked more like an uncomfortable thing, not like the repulsion as I tried to kiss you, but that was great. Folks, few things in life bring real satisfaction. Raising a child, starting a business, leading a country come to mind. But those achievements pale in comparison to getting 4 comedians to follow an assignment for our show. We asked them to pick out a story of the paper and tell us what they got. Great, Giraldo.
Last week, the major airlines announced that they'll allow some people who are afraid to fly to bring their pets on board for support. Like flying doesn't suck enough, now I gotta share a row with an emotional cripple and his goat. Grow up, and deal with your fears like an adult. Get drunk, pass out, and drool on the shoulder of the fat guy next to you. I shouldn't have to smell tiger ass because I'm on a flight with a nervous Siegfried and Roy.
Okay, Sarah Silverman.
Scott Peterson has been arrested and charged in the murder of his pregnant wife, Lacey Peterson. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned divorce and abandonment? That joke was written by my mother.
All right. Dominator.
How sad is it to see these Cuban refugees seeking asylum? You see that poor bastard treading water for half an hour? Put a net under the guy. Give him a nice cold beer, a nice Cuban cigar. I mean, if you're going to send them back to Castro, give him a swim coat so he'll make it next time. If he had made it, he'd be an American citizen instead of some poor jadrul going back to, I'm sure, a big welcome Come here, you cockroach. Here's your broom.
Keith Robinson.
Well, in one of last week's tabloids, it had Julia Roberts crying and snotting at the nose, begging her husband not to leave her. Come on, Julia, what's with the men problems? First you marry that guy, Lyle Lovett, then it's like, you have begging your man to stay. I mean, I've seen more self-esteem on a crack or a window washer.
Mine was about this thing Friday night, the suicide bomber who tried to kill all the settlers on Friday, over in like somewhere in Israel. But he missed time. He had to chase after them, and then he blew up himself. He didn't even get to them. It's like he messed up, but at least his heart's in the right place. 2 blocks from his legs and 4 blocks from his hands. But his heart's in the right place, folks. As the New York Times says, that's all the news is fit to steal. Good night.